for the microfinance institutions. To talk to us about the whole business of mobile money is Donald Terry, a consultant on matters involving financial inclusion, particularly remittances and microfinances. And wait for it, Dr. Raul Hinojosa, who is the founder and director of the North American Integration and Development, here to tell us about mobile money. Mobile money is about phone-to-phone finance?
It's like using these things now, no more wallets. So you just basically, you want to send some money to you, I'll just text you the money, your phone rings, now you have the money. And now you can go send it to him.
Can we try that?
We actually could.
Can you
No, she'll take all of my money. Hold on a sec, no.
These are called e-wallets.
E-wallets.
Electronic wallets.
We have moved into this Star Trek generation.
This is crazy.
So expand on it for me, either of you, please.
Basically, what happens is that the cell phone is going to take over your wallet. You're not going to carry that plastic anymore.
So you don't need the credit cards?
No, right.
Cash,
exactly.
anything.
This is going to be the mechanism by which you pay at a restaurant, by which you pay for
no way.
And what's going to happen in the background is the movement of the money, right?
Right.
Now, Don just got back from where there in Kenya is already using this stuff today.
So hold on a sec. So I'm assuming the phone is a direct link to your bank.
That's one model. That's one model. In Kenya, it's actually, you're really sending minutes from one phone to another, but then you can turn your minutes into money.
Cash.
Okay, but a lot of people don't like that model, right? Because you're creating a new currency.
Right.
The better model is exactly what you just said, that your mobile device can link you into a bank. Banks are very expensive places to do business. You know, you need a big infrastructure and the rest, and they charge for that.
Yeah.
So this 21st century device is going to enable people to have options to use their monies in ways that previously nobody has thought of, and it gets the money back.
Who comes up with this?
Them.
You know, my husband has a theory that there are aliens among us because there's some things that you only saw in, you said Star Trek, and those sci-fi types of movies that are happening every day.
You know who comes up with this? People that really need it. The funny thing about mobile banking is it comes from the poorest people who really don't have banks.
Right.
They have no access to get this. So we've been working for years but one thing that's happened all over the world in the last 10 years is cell phones everywhere, right? Am I right? Okay, so the poorest people can now have access to pretty cheap cell phones, and you can now, they need to make transactions.
I think it's fair to say that banks traditionally all over the world haven't been interested in poor people because they can't make money off of poor people.
Right.
So 10 years ago, as Raul said, I'm just back from Kenya and Ethiopia and Uganda. There were no banks and there were no phones. Over the past 10 years, now they have mobile phones. They still really don't have banks where poor people live, but now you're able to use your phone as the bank. It's an amazing transformation, and I think this is where the world is going. Now, it's just a question of whether or not it's going to take 20 years or 10 years or 5 years or 2 years. In certain parts of Africa, it has been
the way it's going.
Past 2 years.
It's likely 2 years. But, hold on a sec. This is a step up from like internet banking.
Yes.
The same. It's along the same principle.
It's really in many ways a big leap forward. It's a big leap forward because you know, internet banking, you still are depending on that plastic, which you're going to go to that ATM machine.
Right.
Now we all become walking ATM machines, right?
And as such, now I have to ask about security.
Yes.
I have my entire life on my BlackBerry. Right? If I lose it, everybody knows about it. What about What about? Because I get the concept pretty quickly. I can go to a restaurant and I can just go boop, 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 and pay them.
Security is very critical.
Security. How do
Basically, what we've been working on is doing, it's all high-level encryption. Actually, in many ways, this will be even more secure than what we have now.
Right.
Because right now, you just have that four PIN code. You go to an ATM machine.
Salud.
Salud.
I'm
It's not
sorry.
to sneeze that.
No, this is no. In Jamaica, when you sneeze, when somebody's talking, you say true word, which
True
means
word.
that's a fact.
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay.
See? Right on time. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Dr.
So that is it. That actually the level of security will actually able to go up. If you lose the phone, they can't get into it. Nobody can get into it.
Let me make this sort of from my own life's experience, I guess. 40 years ago, when they first came in with the process in the U.S. in which you could have direct deposit of your paycheck, my mother, no way.
No way.
She wants that check in her hand, and she wants to take the trip to the bank, and she wants to put it in, right? So this was the attitude. Now, 40 years later, my children laugh at me in terms of my technological ability. You know, I'm personally not going to be doing any cell phone banking anytime soon, but, you know, that's my age. But the important thing is, for the majority of the people in the world who don't have access to finance, who don't have access to financial inclusion, you know, there's a phrase, it's expensive to be poor.
Yeah.
Poor people need access to finance, and they pay for it. One of the ways they pay for it is when they're getting remittances, they pay a lot of money to get the money sent from one part of the world back. Jamaica, this is, of course, a very expensive proposition, too. So you can cut transaction costs, you can cut those costs, but even as important, if you can give people access to finance. I was in Jamaica many years ago when I was told that cash is king, cash is king. Well, it's true. If you have money in your pocket, you feel pretty good, and, you know, you'll probably spend it. But if you have access to a financial institution, if that mobile phone is connected to a bank, then
Or
all
a
of a sudden,
microfinance institution.
or a microfinance institution, then all of a sudden, you might be able to get a small loan. If you've been receiving remittance, for instance, for the last year or two, you're creditworthy.
Right.
You might be able to get an insurance product. You might be able to do all sorts of things, which is important not only for the people who receive the money to give them more options to use their money, but the communities where they live. I mean, economists, of which I am not one, talk a lot about the type of leverage, the type of multiplier effect if you get money into the economy. And there's about $2 billion a year that's coming into Jamaica. That's a fair amount of money. Let's see if we can leverage it instead of just having what is called cash to cash.
So the seminar is today, the workshop is today, at the DBJ. What time do you gentlemen start?
We're running from here
From
over
here,
there.
straight over there.
And
I'd
this
love
is
to be
open to
there.
the
It's
public?
fascinating.
I have no idea. But I think
Come, they'll let you in. Come, they'll let you in.
part of the public if they're really
Hey,
interested.
send us a text via your cell phone.
Absolutely.
And then you can send some money.
And then we'll send some money
with the
next,
check.
okay?
There you go. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Okay.
Fascinating
It's going to
stuff.
be fascinating to
Donald
watch this
Terry
grow.
and Dr. Raul Hinojosa. Okay, folks, this gentleman is rising fast.